Hello, I'm Colonel Failure, and this is A-Train 9 version 3. Okay, so in the last episode we outlined the ways in which one could make use of the stock market to ensure that any financial problems were in the past. Now, obviously, and as explained then, what I want to do is get to the point where I'm actually running a profitable city without having to resort to stock market manipulation on a regular basis. By and large, what I'll do is I'll reserve that for significant investments that otherwise I would be sat around for hours in order to try and make the money. The goal, of course, eventually is that the transport network will be earning that much cash that no stock market shenanigans will be required in the slightest. So, while you've been away, I've made a couple of small changes. I'm kind of underselling exactly what's happened. So, this is District 1. Or it was. Hold on, let's rename it. District 1. Let's spell it properly. District 1. Otherwise known as Woking in capital letters. What have I done with District 1? Right, well, I've replaced the station. There was a two-platform, two-track station there beforehand. Now there's a four-track. There's been a little bit of modification go on out here. I've expanded this bridge. I've done all manner of jiggery-pokery with this track. You have no idea. But the upshot is that we're now running a kind of a four-track system. Still, not using them all the time, but more track will be used as this city develops. We're not profitable at the moment, not even slightly. We've got a positive balance, but it's not pretty. Then over here we have District 3. District 3. And again, four-track station. Now, the tracks, as you've probably noticed, we're using half the station for passengers, half the station for goods. I could use separate stations for both disciplines, but no, I've kept them merged. Given that this is the heart of this district, it makes sense for the goods to be dropped off. Now, I've previously spoken about the fact that actually I'm hopping all over the place here. Let's continue with the what's actually changed. This is probably the most obvious change going on here. As you can see, this is our freight collection area, and we're running 3 freight trains. And how magnificent they look! And this is the area I wanted to talk about just now. Is these freight trains take off every night at between 10:30 and midnight. I've spaced them out a little bit to avoid collisions with other trains, and that's the big difference. Previously, I've spoken about the fact that Train Fever has signals which allow you to get a certain amount of anti-collision control on the go, but where a train comes into its own is scheduling, and as such, you can schedule your train to depart at a sensible time, and therefore pre-plan avoiding a collision. The system I've got up at the moment, it's not quite perfect, but we don't run into any situations where trains go head to head, and that's the end of that particular road. Instead, we have occasional waiting at points for another service to go through. So our goods services only run Monday through to Saturday, because on Saturday and Sunday the factory doesn't actually produce any goods, so there's no sense in sending them out. As you can see right now, it fills up over the course of Friday. Oh, everyone's clocked off for the day on Friday, which leaves us lacking just 1 item of goods, which is, that's pretty good going, all told. And there we go. And we send 1 goods train to each of our existing cities. How am I going to expand this? Not entirely sure. I may have to make a second kind of goods distribution area later on. But for now, that's absolutely fine. Let's go down to District 2, just show you what's going on here. Again, same story is absolutely true. The old station was kind of in this area here, but I bought that area. Oh, that's not doing what I expected it to do. Okay, hold on. Quick change is required here. That was expected to be ground level. Interesting. I wonder why it bridged it. Because it's done it again. There we go. You know, I'm relatively comfortable bulldozing some of it, but I don't want to bulldoze huge swathes of ready-built land. Right, are you on the flat? You're on the flat. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so I've done the same at every one of the 3 districts that were kind of active beforehand. Nothing particularly substantive has changed beyond that. But it took the best part of an hour to get that done. You really didn't miss very much at all. You know, I know that a certain amount of me pondering my way through stock dividends are in. I don't own any stock, or at least I shouldn't. Let's have a look. Nope, I don't think I do. I think I've sold all of the stock that I had. Intriguing. Oh, maybe that's some legacy dividends from the previous year, in which case that's just leftover cash. Good show. Right, let's have a quick look at our finances. So, I bought an extra train this year, so I bought my 3rd passenger train. We're running 3 passenger trains up and down this route. I could realistically run possibly 4 or 5, but I've got 1 point that is 1 point, 2 points, possibly 2 points that are likely to cause collisions. So this section of rail here, that's not beautifully optimised. We switch track over onto the other circuit there, so I think there's space enough for the track to switch lanes, switch tracks before the next one comes along. But this is the big one here. So between District 1 and District 3, you've got this shared section of track here, and there's no way to switch from one to the other. So if I were to put another train on that, the likelihood that that trains would go head to head on a just a painful, frequent basis is significant. So I think what I might end up doing here is using the other side of this station as a starting point for another circuit. I mean, eventually, you know, we may be running just one way round a clockwise ring, or we might run both ways. I haven't yet decided, and it should come as no surprise to you, who I'm sure has spotted that very rarely does a plan actually happen. So, what are we going to do today? Right. Well, I do need to whiz up a little bit more cash because I want to build District 4. In fact, didn't I call this? And let's call this something else other than District 4. Let's call this Factory 1. Okay. It's a sensible kind of a name. I had considered settling this area here, but I want to, you know, eventually we'll get to the point where we're trying to settle on every square inch of land. But right now, I'm more interested in expanding into another town area, and I think, you know, here-ish might be kind of cool. I want to think carefully about what I'm doing with my track, because obviously, if I'm coming out here, I'm going to also want to go around that way to expand out in the other direction. But I think that's where we're going to go. Right, okay. A little bit of market manipulation to get us started. I think 200 million is not bad. Let's have a quick look. Just make sure I don't owe any tax at the moment. I don't owe any tax at the moment. Yeah, another couple 100 million should do it. These new swanky stations that I'm using aren't the cheapest in the world, but they, for the amount of trains you can throw through them, their footprint isn't huge. Anything? No, everybody's too expensive at the moment. Right, let's rip the speed up. What are we looking at? So, what I'm looking for, in case you didn't see last time around, I'm looking for share prices that are $5 or under. I'll take 5 and change. 5 and change is okay. Ideally, I want 3 or 4, because you'll make 50 to 60 to 100,000 profit off each one if you sell at the right time. Nope, nothing doing at the moment. Let's onwards. And it's a pity, really, that these aren't tied to your behaviour in the game. Here we go. This is what we want. Because obviously, if they were, this particular bonus wouldn't exist. That said, if this particular bonus didn't exist, I'd be hosed. Right, that's 3 lots. That'll do for now. Let's drop it to 200-ish. There we go. So as you can see, they break into a profitable position quite early. But what we're looking for is when they break the 100,000 mark. Oh, just missed one. And that's when you put the sell order in. Now, the sell order doesn't happen immediately. It takes a couple of days, I think, in-game. I haven't actually measured the length of time. Before that transaction is done. At which point, the share price can still fluctuate. So you may end up just a little bit different from what you were expecting. And that can be up or down. But there, what are we going to end up with that one? Any time now's good. There we go. As I see, we only ended up with 53 on that one. Still, that's not too bad, and that's taken us to 500 million in the bank. It's ridiculous. It's such a low-life manoeuvre. But you know what? It's helping us to get the job done, and frankly, we're here to see an expansive and elegant rail system of sorts spring into life. And if this is what we need to do in order to get that to happen, so be it. Right, first things first, let's track out. Now, I don't want to track too far because, hold on, have we got a grip on here? Incidentally, with all this kind of track replacement stuff that I've been doing, I haven't got any better at doing it. It's, track placement, no matter what game it is, eludes me. In terms of my expertise. Come on, you must want to merge. For as much as terrain collisions drive me up the wall in Train Fever, at least you do get some kind of indication of what the problem was. There we go. Come on, there you go. Turn the corner. I know that's kind of a weird way to do it, but it's also quite it's most straightforward. Let's take you off over here. Let's bring you back in line. Actually, that's something I'm going to have to be aware of. That it's going to be, disparate lengths of time to get to and from. But this is not that. There you go. That's going to work. No. Yes. Right. That'll do for now. Right. What do we like? We've got this kind of pond and a bit of mountain action going on. Yeah, okay, we can do that. Look at this. See, look, city in the background. It's glorious. Let's slow the speed down while we're at it. Right, station time. So I've been using these over-track stations. I think we'll go for the other design this time. Now, where do we want to go? Where are we on the map here? So this is moving further up the map, and I think we're going to want to go that way. So that we can start to look at, a circuit of some description. Actually, there's no need for this bit to do that, because I've just taken that side off. In which case, maybe that's the one that I'm going to build. All right. Come on in, smart man. Where are you going to build it? So, I can stick it in here. It doesn't leave much room for kind of city growth, though, does it? And why are you so high off the ground? That's slightly strange. I did not order a floating station. Oh, I see. It's the terrain's not quite level. Okay, let's increase the size of the brush here and just level that out. Not cheap, but you know, when the stock market is effectively my servant, it doesn't really matter anymore, does it? Okie doke. Right, let's flatten that out. Now, let's think. I mean, it's kind of a peninsula rather than anything else, isn't it? Almost not worth putting trains on that bit. I mean, we could go over here, I guess. Let's flatten this anyway, since I'm in the vicinity. I don't want to take all of the terrain features out. After all, if I didn't want to have mountains in the way, I wouldn't have selected a mountainous map. But I do want enough land to actually be able to settle something that's going to, you know, grow slightly. Okay, right, that's going off that way. This is coming off this way. I think we go for around here somewhere. Okay, 43 million. Crikey. Okay, right. Train station. Don't really want to put the catchment area from this station in the water, if I can help it. Actually, that's not too bad. And we'll just check that. And, you know, we're flying again. See if I place that. No, it has put it on the floor. How strange. It's obviously a perspective kind of thing. Cool. Right. Good. Nice. It's a pleasant place to start. And then we're going to think about what we're going to do with these tracks. Interesting. Okay. Well, no, not road. Track. Thank you. Okay. Right. That's easy. Take you into the next one. That's also easy. Do we want to do that? Not yet. And we possibly ought to delete that one as well. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put passengers down one side of the track and then freight down the other side. So and that's at stations. I'm trying to maintain the everyone drives on the right kind of principle. I'm going to stick with it, and frankly, if you know, out of some kind of pettiness on my part, I decided to try and make everyone drive on the left, then it would just confuse the hell out of me when I came to play Train Fever again. So right-hand side it is. We'll just deal with that. Oh, come on, you'll do it. That's the one thing I did find, is how to immediately kind of Y-shape your station entrances, and that works quite nicely. But you do end up with this kind of single bottleneck track kind of idea. If you want to see how to do that, take one piece of track ever so slightly forward, like this, grab the piece of track on the other side, and point at the buffers on the end of there. Job done every single time. It works like a charm. I'm sure there are similar methods when it comes to point systems and so forth. But hell if I can find it. Right, let's put that back as it was, because that was fine. Just like that. Thank you. Okay, so if we imagine all inbound traffic is going to come up this swoopy line here, which is kind of dramatic, then we need it to go into both sides to a greater or lesser extent. This side, so I'll keep the right-hand side of the station will be goods. The left-hand side, I think, will be passengers, probably. We are going to want some track merging, though, aren't we? So, you know, doing that's quite easy. It's when you start to build complicated point systems that it starts getting upset with you. Yeah, I know, wiggly track. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, is it? Still, this might leave me enough room to stick some points in. And the ideal place would be about there. There we go. put some points in there, and then I just need you to merge. Have I left enough room? So a merger point about there. That would be nice. But no. Okay, right, well, there are other choices here. And yes, judicious use of the bulldozer, as ever. Actually, cancel that. Let's go to there. Let's try it. This, yeah, come on, it wants to, but it's not gonna. That's a shame. That would have solved many a problem. Come on, I need an idea here. You stick that back there, that's not going to accomplish anything useful. Right, if we can, let's connect that, see if this one wants to play ball. If it does, fabulous. If it doesn't, we'll just try something else. Remove a bit of track. This is what you missed while I was tinkering. Incidentally, this is the large kind of substantive portion of what it was that I was doing while you weren't here. Going, come on! Oh yeah, obviously you want to go that way, but I don't want you to go. Do I want you to go that way? No, I don't. That's not helpful. Shame. What else could we do? And the upshot is you end up trying a bunch of different things until something sticks. Right. So I think taking this over to here, that's easy. And then how far up will you grab? You'll grab there. That's also positive. Oh, look at that. Fantastic. That's exactly what I wanted. I didn't know that I wanted it until it had done it, but that's what I wanted. That was it. That was the trick. That was the star prize there. Okay, cool. Right, so next, materials depot. And I think given that we've got more space to build over here, or do we want to actually, you know, try and get suburbs to meet up? Tricky. I also want to think about where I'm going to stick a bridge, a road bridge. This is something that I haven't paid quite enough attention to yet. All right, we'll start off with our first one here, I think. Yeah, okay. Right, let's get some road in. Don't worry, I've spotted it. Yeah, I'm going to sort that bit of... I'm going to make that track go a little further forward. I think we might be able to get that across there, you know. Okay, if we do it at a cunning angle, then I won't have to build another flyover bridge to nowhere. There we go, that's good. Why go to the effort of making road match up? Simply because at some point I might want to employ trucks to move goods around, kind of extra to whatever I'm shifting by rail, and it's very easy. I mean, I could stick down a piece of track like that, a piece of road like that, just in the middle of nowhere, going nowhere, and people, you know, the AI would go, "Oh, fabulous! We're going to settle there. I'm going to, you know, build myself a magnificent townhouse," and you kind of go, "Well, okay, more for you, but you know, be my guest." Because they don't need those roads to link up. But if you're planning any kind of transportation cleverness, you certainly do. Interesting. Nope. Oh, no, guess not. Let's take that a little bit further. The other benefit, of course, to working in this fashion, I don't know, a little wiggle in my road, is this area here, the land value is, it might not be at the lowest, the default level, but it's not going to be 1,000 miles away from it, because no one's built on it yet. So, providing you've got the cash available, you can get a reasonably good start on a new piece of suburb. Cancel. What are you trying to do? Why are you implying that placing in the sea would be a good idea? Well, it's not even a sea; it's a lake. Let's decrease the size of that. Smooth this just enough to get the road through. Also, unlike Train Fever, this is, it's a little backward in coming forward when inviting you to place tunnels. I'd quite happily do kind of road tunnels and what have you through this hillside, but no, it's not interested. It's another 28 million down the tubes. Terrific. Road. Go on. There you go. Ace. Right. Good. Oh, actually, can we get a bit of road across there? Yeah, that's fun. But it's only any good if I can actually then... Go on, find a way to... Figure it out, track. Come on. Come on. Alright, what we'll do is let's remove this bit of road. Let's get the road across here. It's not going to go across that bit, or this bit. Well, come on, there you are. Look, have it. Let's do the same there. Oh, you must. Look, this is the only clear bit of road I've got. It's the only straight line you're going to come across. Intense concentration. Yeah, I know. This is just how it's going to have to be. You take up a piece of road that you only just stuck down, and then try and persuade everything to comply. Onto there. Go on. Look, it's begging for it. Alright, well, what if I do something unusual like that? And then do that. Oh, you must do. Right, okay. It will do, but that's another... Come on, another couple of million. Smoothing out this mountain. I don't know why I don't... Alright, almost there. Almost there, road. Right, cool. So, yes, as I have, you might be wondering, mate, just get the trains running and then everything will just work. Yes, that's as maybe, but once people start moving into your new enclave, if you haven't put any thought into, it might not look like I'm putting much thought, maybe I'm the wrong person to talk about this, but if you haven't put any thought into the road network that you've got, you'll end up with something that you really can't do anything with. And I'm trying to set this up with a little bit of directed building space, so that when they start flinging houses up all over the place, I'm not left going, well, why have you put it there? Okay, so that's why I'm doing it, alright? Now, obviously, with that there, I'm going to need to track out of it all. What's the money looking like? Money's okay. Let's take... Which way are we facing here? So we are going to want to go this way to carry on our circuit. So let's take it, that's good, take it like that, and then let's take it as far as there for the moment. You're just going to follow it around. It also doesn't, it does kind of snap, but it's a far less vigorous snapping than Train Fever offers. Here we go. This is all money I'm not going to get back, because I'm going to dig all that up to put points in there properly and stuff. But that should stop the AI going absolutely bananas in its building. Right, materials depot. I've got all of this area to play with, and I think we'll put the first one in here. And what I'm currently thinking is that I'm going to start actually deleting depots. I know. Actually, that's even better. Okay. Yeah. So once we've kind of maximised growth in an area of a city, I'll delete the depot, and then we'll go place a new one somewhere else. Right. Okay. So next time, what we'll do is we'll get a freight train running out here, and we'll get a passenger train shortly afterwards. Or we'll maybe actually what we'll do is we'll expand the passenger shuttle route that we're doing already. So why don't you tune in for that and see what progress can be made. I'm going to leave you with some trains, because that's what we do. I mean, this is almost more of a city builder than a train builder, but it's got quite a heavy emphasis on trains. Thank you very much. I've been Colonel Failure. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will catch you next time. Thank you very much for tuning in. Cheerio.
Thank you.